If a team cannot laugh together, they do not trust each other. And if they do not trust each other, all progress has stopped. How do you trust as a team? How do you build it? How do you keep it? Today on Leading Forward.
Welcome back to the conversation, friends. Take this opportunity right now. If this has been helpful to you, this podcast in any way, like, subscribe, share it with somebody who you think can be benefiting from this same type of content, and then jump back into the conversation right now. Do it right now. Okay. What's up, Nick?
All right. It's Leading Forward Day, right?
It is.
Every day.
Yeah.
Man, it has been fun doing this and just seeing more and more people following and liking and subscribing. I think it's a big thing. And so we really do appreciate people doing this for us.
And here's what we'll say today, kind of just on that note, a nod to somebody who asked a very good question. And the content for today is really based on the response to that question. So
yeah, someone reached out to you and
yes,
said,
James.
Hey,
thank you, James. We hear you. And it was a great question, so we're going to talk about it.
And ask this question of how do you build trust?
Yes.
And what do you do when trust is broken?
Yes.
And how do you move forward as an organization, as a company, maybe as individuals in order to be best in this area?
Yeah.
So when James asked you this question, what was your response to him?
So I actually solicited. I'm like, hey, man, I respect James. In fact, I asked several people, but I said, hey, what questions do you have? He'd been listening, season 1, season 2. And I said, what haven't we tackled yet? What do you think would be super helpful for you and other leaders? What's relevant? And this was the first thing that he said. So, yeah.
Well, on that, if you have an idea, if you have a topic that you would love for us to discuss, put it in the comments, send one of us a message. We would love to be able to continue to build this out, not just with what we're thinking, but the things that help you the absolute most.
Yeah, that's good. I got a bunch of stuff, man, from people. Right. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So when you think about trust, there's so much to look at and understand that are deep foundational issues for a company, whether they have trust or they've lost trust, right? And so when you begin thinking about this and when you begin even answering this question for James, what was that like for you?
With regard to, man, I'll answer it this way, Nick. There is so much that's already out there. Clinical psychologists and business professionals and people that have, we're not reinventing the wheel with any of this. So there's so much out there for people. But I think one of the things that is really great about how we package this is we're in the books, and not everybody has the same, opportunities or desire to get into this world. They want the recap. Just give me the good stuff. I just want to know what to do. Is the relationship salvageable? Should I trust that person again? They have these questions, and they just want a package with all the right content. So that said, we've got some giants that we're tugging on the cloak of.
Sure.
Dr. Henry Cloud from his book, fantastic work. It's called Trust.
I have not read that one.
Dude, it's amazing. We went through it as a team, and each team member took some sections and broke it up and kind of taught the rest of the team, and it was just illuminating in that process. And Patrick Lencioni,
we're going to talk about that.
Him, so some good stuff.
For me, when I think about these things and thinking about when trust is broken, when trust has maybe been shattered, how we respond. And I think there's a couple different ways we have to look at it. We have to look at it from a business organization level and then as a personal level.
So true.
And so recently I was meeting with the CEO of this company, and I'd already met with him and the CEO, the owner of the company, about some issues that they were having with an employee. They paid for me to spend some time with his employee, to be able to invest in him several months ago. Because of that, they decided to go ahead and promote him to this new position, new opportunity. He had great opportunity in front of him. He really could have been the number 3, 4, 5 earner in the entire company of over 100 employees.
Yeah.
Okay. Growing company, great company. Really, we have worked to build this foundation for them, this culture that their competitors now want to come work for them. Wow. And that's what we've built. And so it's been absolutely amazing. So this guy is in this incredible opportunity position. Yeah. Owner says, hey, I want you to reach out to this company. I think they could be a good partner for us. I think we could do some work for them, create some custom work for us, take some load off them, and could really create a great partnership. This guy goes down there, meets with them, does one project with them, and then he starts doing all the work on his own out of his own garage and bypasses the company that he's working for. He's using company material. Sometimes he's using company time.
Yeah.
And what I know is all these things always come to light. It may not be today. But it's going to come to light, right? And so walking through this process with them and going, okay, how do we deal with this person? I said, okay, we're going to start with our core values. We're going to start with the core of who we are, of the foundation that we've laid, and then we're going to respond with that. And so one of the things they want to do is make sure they impact the spiritual lives of people.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
And so this is a growing manufacturing company. They do an amazing job. And they wanted to treat this man with respect, with dignity.
Yeah.
They wanted to speak into his spiritual journey from really stealing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 of money and opportunities from their company.
Yeah.
And we had to address it from two different positions, from a business and a personal. And both aspects are really important, and to be able to separate those two things.
Yeah, I think, man, and we'll pull on that thread as we go along. That's a good distinction. And if I'm hearing this, if I'm at home or at work, working out, whatever, I'm driving, and I'm hearing this podcast, I've got a couple of questions in my mind, because when anyone talks about violation of trust or can I trust someone, we all have one or two or three or 10 different stories or relationships, experiences that come to mind. Yeah, some are personal, some are family, some could be in-laws and kids, and maybe you are the one that violated the trust. I think there's two big chunks that we should take a look at today. And that is, first off, how do you know if you should and can trust somebody? And then the second chunk is, once trust has been lost or violated, is it possible to get it back? Is it possible to get back to where you were before in a working relationship? What about an intimate relationship? I don't know how much time we'll have to really get into each of those, but I think if we break it up like that, it might be most helpful.
So one of the things we've talked about through this whole season, this uncompromised leader, we're going to stand for what's right, is making sure that we walk through the terms, right? And part of the conversation, part of owning the argument is defining the terms. So I know Henry Cloud has this whole thing on trust. I looked into it a little bit, but I haven't read the book. What is kind of his foundation for what trust is?
So he says there are 5 essentials for trust. Again, this is to establish initial trust with someone, right? And it goes like this. First one is understanding. So do people feel seen and heard? In other words, are you listening to them, or are you listening to me? Let's just use it like that. So are you trying to understand me? That's a first essential. The second one is motive. Do they believe that you are for them? So
that's a huge thing.
Yeah, man. If there's somebody who's trying to get into your circle or onto your team, and man, if there's any reason to believe historically that they're not for you, then that essential needs to be met. Third is ability. Can you do what you say? So that's just competency, right? Do you have the ability to do the thing that I need you to do? Fourth is character. Are you honest and aligned? And that goes into both of those categories.
Core value, personal and business.
And then finally, track record. That means something. I'm so glad to hear a professional clinical psychologist say the history can help you determine if this person should be trusted, not entirely based on history, but it is one of the essential elements that go into that decision.
Yeah, I think we even see this biblically. So when we're talking about business, we're talking about organization, we're talking about leadership, you see Paul and Barnabas and John Mark. And John Mark's deserted him. He has broken trust. He has said, I'm too scared. I'm leaving this mission. I don't want to be part of this mission. And just kind of leaves them high and dry. Well, later, Barnabas says, well, hey, let's take John Mark. And Paul says, heck no, he ain't going back with us.
That's right.
But Barnabas says, I will. I'll invest in him. Years later, Paul writes, send me John Mark. He has become fruitful partner in ministry. And so there's that time, right?
Yes.
It does just because they broke your trust once. Can they
Right.
regain it?
Yep.
Can they regain it? And if they have, what role does that lead them to?
Man, that's great. I think that's a very early, fantastic example of the restoration that can happen.
So good.
So every listener and viewer, just know this. If you're asking the question, can trust be restored? Yes. If you're asking the question, can it not be restored? Yes. What I mean is both of those absolutely are possible. It just depends on a lot of things. Yeah.
Sure. So I'll tell you this, kind of a story and confession. I was at this event a couple weeks ago, this men's Bible study.
Yeah.
And I said some things that were really harsh. There was some false teaching. I stood up for it and said, hey, this is not of God. This is not good. I'm not going to allow this. I'm not going to be a part of this.
Yeah, you yelled at me.
Not you, brother. And one of the men in my life who have the ability to question me on everything, I called him that night and said, hey, here's what's going on. He didn't answer. So we talked a few days later, and his words to me were, you never told me you were going to this Bible study. I went, I didn't know I needed to. But he said, one of those men in that group have already burned you. Why were you even there?
Okay.
He has said that one of those men burned you in the past, dishonored you, broke trust with you. Why would you submit yourself to that again? He goes, nothing in their character has changed. So why did you change?
That's a good question.
He didn't question anything I did. He didn't even correct what I did. He said, why were you even there? And so what a different question of understanding trust has been broken.
Yeah.
They did not do anything to restore that trust.
Yes.
Why did you give them full
Yeah.
access?
So I think this is probably a good time for us to draw a distinction between forgiveness and trust.
Absolutely.
So for you, if you're comfortable sharing that, was there established forgiveness on your end?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it had been a couple years, and I wanted to be able to trust them. I wanted to be able to invest in this guy. He was a long-term friend and partner in ministry, and he did some things that were hurtful, kind of abandoned me at some times. I went through and had some hard conversations and offered forgiveness, but I thought that was fully dependent upon me. The forgiveness is.
Yes. Yes.
But the character didn't change, and I overlooked it.
Okay.
And it was
Wow.
all on me, right? I mean, I felt like I was doing what was right biblically, but I was not looking with enough wisdom and discernment to see some character things that had not changed.
Man, so forgiveness, as we talk about like these two critical things in regard to relationship and moving forward in relationship or knowing when to stop a relationship, forgiveness biblically is not optional.
Yeah.
It's just not. And so it's not a question. And I know, man, you may have that thing that has happened to you and you're like, you just don't understand. I can never forgive for this. And maybe, honestly, maybe I think it's petty, but maybe it is significant and maybe it's deep wound. God still has the same plan for you that he does for me and Nick and anybody else for forgiveness, to free you from the burden of being weighed down and imprisoned by unforgiveness. Your prayers aren't effectively the same way. Your relationships are tainted. Your trust toward everybody else is impacted if you carry unforgiveness.
Yeah. So forgiveness is not optional.
Yeah.
Right. And that's about us aligning ourselves with God and being able to forgive them for what we think we were wronged.
Right.
But it doesn't mean we immediately trust.
That's good, man. That's right.
And there are certain violations that take longer to trust.
Yeah.
There are certain consequences of breaking that trust.
Yeah.
Even in different organizations. Listen, if you've been caught stealing from a company, you're not going to work in the finance department, right?
That's right.
We forgive you, but you're not working over in this department, right? And so if certain violations have different stipulations with them, and part of that's for your own protection, right?
Right. That's right.
So I think a big part of understanding this forgiveness, understanding being able to build trust is character. It's showing some character change. It's being able to change the behaviors. And that takes time. But if we are going to develop healthy organizations, healthy teams, healthy businesses that have a culture that is strong and growing stronger, we have to look at things differently. And so one of the things I love is Patrick Lencioni's book, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And, he talks about the negative, but there's the positive side. So what are the 5 functions of a team? I think if you'll hit E right there, let's see if that makes,
Oh, look at that. He's got it.
Yeah. So when you look at this and being able to see that these things build off each other. One of the first statement I said at the beginning, if a team cannot laugh together, they do not trust each other. It means they're not willing to be vulnerable. And so therefore progress is stopped. But if you don't have trust, you can't have conflict. And conflict needs to be good. It needs to be healthy. There can be conflict because we trust each other. So when you say something hard to me, I know you're looking for my best. That's what you were even talking about with Henry Cloud stuff. I trust you, or I'm looking out for your best. I want the best for you. So I can say the hard things. Then out of that conflict, we're committed together. Right? Out of that commitment leads to accountability. We sharpen one another, which leads to results. If you want results for your organization, your life, your family, your business, your church, whatever, you have to start with this foundation of trusting one another. And if trust is broken and there is no trust, you have a very dysfunctional team.
It's so clear in this format, and it seems so basic that it is the foundation of this pyramid leading up to results. Do you think that there are a lot of leaders out there and people on a team or in a family, and trust has been fractured, but they don't know it?
Oh, absolutely. They feel it, but they don't know what it means, and they don't know why I don't trust.
And it may not be anything that is even on their radar.
Sure.
That's been the case with me before, where eventually somebody brings something to light or comes to my attention. I'm like, oh, you're so right. Crap. I'm okay. I didn't know you thought that. I didn't know I did that. All right. So what have you seen, and what do you think some of the, how can this kill progress, and what are some things that it can cause on a team, like symptoms?
If there's not trust, all conflict is volatile.
Oh, yeah.
We can't go into a meeting and go, it's your idea or my idea. We can't get to the best idea. Because you're against me and I'm against you because I don't trust you.
You're assuming intentions.
That's right. You're assuming all these negative before we even get into the conversation. That guy said that in this meeting because he was thinking about you. He wasn't thinking about you. He's too selfish to think about you, right? And so he said that directed at me. Well, there's something within us that's broken and fractured that we don't trust. And a lot of times we don't trust because we know there are certain areas of our life that are not trustworthy. That's a whole different conversation. But are we trustworthy? Therefore, we can lend trust.
I've heard it said, and it may have been in that book, Trust, but the areas where we are overcritical of people are oftentimes those areas where we have weakness, gaps in our armor ourselves. And
I think that's in the way that you judge, you will be judged. It's more that's self-condemnation right there, right? So if you don't have this trust, you never get to the results. This big vision, this big goal, this thing that you want to accomplish as as an organization never is achieved at the level that you desire it to be because you have a foundation that's busted.
Busted foundation in Texas, that don't fly, man. You're gonna be jacked up.
I mean, you're in the process of moving and looking for new houses, and if you do an inspection and they say, "Hey, this 15-year-old house, the foundation's ruined," you're going,
no.
It doesn't matter how perfect the house is.
I'm not investing in that.
That's right.
Okay, so let's take a second.
You can hit G.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, buddy. Just G?
Yep.
I'm learning, guys. Nick's teaching me things on this pod. Okay, so what if it was our fault? What if we were the ones? That could never happen. What if we were the ones? So if you're listening, what if you're asking that question? Well, that was my fault, Nick. I was like, I totally messed it up. I had my chance with her, with him, with them, and I did something to mess it up. What do we do first? What do you think? What's a good first step?
There has to be humility.
Yeah.
There has to be enough humility to apologize and own it.
You got to own it. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And not try to skirt around it, not make excuses. I recently heard this definition. Excuses are the permission we give ourselves for not doing what we said we would do. Mm-hmm. We said we would do something, and we make an excuse, which means I'm giving myself permission to not do what I said I would do.
Yeah.
So we can't make excuses. We can't try to wash over it and just say it's all fine. We have to be honest. We have to show humility. We have to apologize and acknowledge I need to build your trust, and I know it's going to take some time.
Yeah. So one of the processes that could be helpful is if it is you, just like Nick said, start by naming it. Like what is it? And a lot of times you don't know, and there's a process for that. And you can ask the 5 why thing, take layers
really
off, and and once you realize what the problem is, let's name it. Let's name it to the right people. Let's own it. And sometimes that's a one-on-one, and sometimes that's public.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That takes a great deal of humility. And we've seen it done well.
Yeah, absolutely. So to continue this story about this business, when they found this out, the guy said, well, I'm not even coming in. I don't even want to talk about it. I said, you need to come in. We need to talk about this. Finally comes in, makes some excuses. Well, this happened on my paycheck, and this happened over here, and this happened with my family. Going, no, slow down. Stop all that. We're just talking about this. Don't give me the reasons why you broke trust. Just own it. Because of that, it made the conversation go a lot different direction.
Yeah.
At the end of the owner of the business said, I've invested too much in you. I love you too much to press charges on you. I'm not going to press charges on you, but there's consequences to this. You can't work here. You know you can't work here. If you want to still meet man to man and work through some things and have some spiritual mentorship, I'm in for that.
He said that. That's huge.
But you can't work here.
So what he did is he forgave. It sounds like. It sounds like there was forgiveness with a clear, you're either going to give them a pathway forward and you tell them what they need to do to begin to restore that trust, or you draw a boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, one of the illustrations that I use a lot is this idea that every year the NFL, college football come out with new rules.
Okay.
And the reason they come out with new rules, every new rule is based upon safety.
Yeah.
There's been some injury, someone's been hurt, so we create new rules. In this situation, there has been someone that's been hurt. So we have to create new rules. We have to put new rules in place, and you have to submit to the new rules. We would all love to go back and watch 1980s football. It was a lot more violent, right?
Yeah, it's different.
But we realized it hurt, and it created long-term damages. So we're not going to play by those rules anymore. In relationships, for this guy, for situations you've been in that you've helped coach and counsel and pastor people through, there's new rules.
It's good.
So you have to submit to those new rules and submit to the person that you violated their trust.
So I'm going to echo what Nick just said. Let's take this to the family for a moment, right? Because this is applicable to everyone. If you're in a family, trust has been broken at some point, at some level. If you are the violator, let's just say you're the husband and your wife was hurt by you and you broke trust there.
It's never happened.
What Nick is saying is that she gets to determine the pathway forward, the reasonable pathway forward. Now, I've seen this abused.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And this is where a lot of times you need someone else to help you work through it.
Yes, this is where some mentorship, some pastoring comes into play, and that's the family dynamic. But that same truth applies to business as well. If there's going to be a path forward, then just like your example, it's not the perpetrator who gets to say, "Well, here's what I'm doing, and here's what I'm going to do next."
I'll do this, this, and this to make it up.
Right.
You don't
Well, good, but I need you to do this and this and this. And meet me where I am. And that's the first step to, well, the first step I think is what you said is the humility, is the owning it. Yeah. Yep. Own the impact of your intention. I've heard it this way too. We can have a crappy apology a lot of times. For years I apologized the wrong way. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. However we do it. When a proper apology is when it's true. Hey, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I really was trying to hurt you. And I look back now and that was stupid. And now I'm ashamed of that. That's where will you forgive me? Will you begin to go that direction? So no excuses. I'm sorry. Own the impact, not your intention. And then no excuses, no but statements.
Oh,
he began with the but statements, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And this is so good. So if you have not heard this before, everything you say before but gets washed out, strike that from the record, and now we're starting a new sentence, right? Mm-hmm. So that but says, you're really good looking, but your face is all jacked up, right? So you're really good looking doesn't count.
That's right.
Right? So I really want your forgiveness, but you know why I did this. Well,
yes.
Then you don't really want my forgiveness.
That's right. That's not full ownership.
It's not.
And there's a difference between full ownership of your contribution and violation and full ownership of the entire mess.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, especially in a relationship, there's multiple factors. Both people have a role to play. So you can't own all of it. Yep. But you can own what you did, the actions or the lack of action that you did, and own the resulting consequence from that. Yeah.
And that just takes time. It just takes time. Yeah. And so whether it's building that in your family, building that with your spouse, with your kids, being able to tell your kids, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry I hurt you by doing this.
Parents don't do that enough, man.
Doing it in a church, an organization, a business. It doesn't matter how small or how large that business is. Mm-hmm. Being able to own it and move forward. I'll tell you one more story real quick. Yeah. So this other company, meeting with a new division manager. Okay, for this company. And after meeting with this person several times, we've worked hard to create a great culture. This is a great, thriving business. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. She comes in and we're having our monthly meeting and she goes, I'm really struggling. I said, okay, what's going on? She goes, I messed up. Went to my boss and told them I messed up. And he goes, no, you didn't. We messed up. And she goes, I'm struggling because I've never been in a place that forgives and wants to build trust. And she goes, I don't know how to believe people. And I've never known that about myself. So healthy also exposes the unhealthy.
That's great, man.
So when you get in this healthy situation, there's a good chance there are people that are business leaders, business owners, working at the highest level that you've never been able to trust, so you don't know how to build trust. And so we started this process going, okay, for you and your division, how do we help new employees trust you, trust the system, trust the organization a lot faster in order that you could go a lot further?
That's so good. I believe that applies to any team that you're bringing people onto is when you're trying to figure out who the right person is, asking questions like that, targeted questions of, hey, share with me a time that, that trust was broken by leadership of a previous organization, Or think of a time when that happened. What was your response? And just see what they say.
Well, and everybody that's a new person on your team left somewhere
Yeah.
that they no longer wanted to be.
Sure. Yeah.
And there was some violation happened
Yeah.
there.
And then what? So response is important, but we all fumble that. We all have emotional responses to things. But then what have you learned since? And if they've learned since, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah.
And you don't, every meeting, every situation you have to learn from.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose, whether you learn good or bad.
Sure.
Even if something was violated, something was a bad situation, if I'm ever in the leadership position, I will never lead this way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we wanted to do. We want to be able to take those experiences, reflect off on them to create something better.
Yeah. They're very good. Very good. Change the pattern, not just your words.
Good.
So this is where time is essential, depending on how deep the wound is and how grave the violation has been. There may need to be a season. Let's go to the church. Biblically, I'm called to forgive everyone. I'm not even going to go into it because there are so many, I'm just not. But I will say this. When someone is removed from leadership because there's been a serious lifestyle violation, there can be forgiveness. And I'm going to be honest, when it happened in my world, forgiveness was not immediate. And when I'm discussing it with my person, as it informally, irregularly comes up, I have to choose to forgive again that day.
Wow.
But that person will never be in church leadership again because of where their heart is. Could they be in church leadership again? Very likely.
Yeah.
Very likely. But the heart posture, I don't see repentance or a pattern of change. And those are some key, like Henry Cloud said, those are necessary for my trust to begin to get restored, and then the people that you've impacted as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times if a pastor has some violation that breaks trust, that whatever that sin issue may be, it almost feels like they have to be excommunicated.
Right.
But it wouldn't be with any other church member. It would be this process of restoration.
Yes.
We've seen pastors on national level who have broken trust, had some egregious situation, and take two different paths.
Yeah.
Submitting, doing
Right.
everything leadership tells them to do, submitting from being a leader to under authority to arrogance and pride and
Lack of
who are you-
ownership.
who are you to tell me?
Yes.
And what you see is that also brings about joy or more bitterness.
Right. Right. So can they own it and then show a pattern?
Yep.
And then trust is rebuilt with patterns and not promises. So words are great. Intentions are nifty. Show me.
Who cares?
Did you violate the covenant with your wife? Give her every freaking password that you own. You no longer have a banking account that is yours.
New rules.
New rules. This is a new season.
That's right.
You are not in charge of setting the requirements to the road back to restored trust.
I think that's good.
What else we got?
I think this is real.
Yeah.
This is authentic conversations
Yeah.
that more people need to think through because it's always going on in our life.
Yeah, that's right.
And at all different levels. You have been violated and broken trust. People have broken your trust in the past. They're going to do it in the future.
Yeah.
How do we be able to understand that in business, in life, in leadership, in church, in every aspect of our life? That leads to us being people of good character,
Yeah.
who are able to be of integrity in order to build trust, and showing forgiveness, patience, and restoration along the way.
That's so good.
And just because there's restoration and there is redemption, it doesn't mean it'll ever be the exact same.
That's a good distinction. So the two roads are reconciliation. you can reconcile, like you just said, and still not have the same relationship as before, and that could be fine. That's totally fine. Or you choose, because reconciliation is two-sided. Even if you have a righteous desire to reconcile, and that person shuts you down, well, there isn't reconciliation. There's forgiveness. There's not reconciliation, and that's fine too. Go in peace, man.
As far as it depends upon you.
Yeah, Matthew 17, as you talked about, when someone in the church has, leadership has sinned, and we're talking about removing that brother. The intent. Let me kind of just dust the cobwebs off of this, because I think we forget this. The intent is not to completely reject that person and leave them to their own devices. The intent, in context, is give them a taste of what it feels like to be alone, to sit in the thoughts and the conviction of what was done. And they will be so hungry for the community that they once had, to have the nearness of those relationships, that the Lord will draw them back. And in due season, with a repentant heart, you have a new person with a new heart on a new trajectory. That is the intent behind that. That's my belief.
And that's where the win really comes.
Yeah.
Right? That we see this redemption, we see this reconciliation, we see healing come out.
That's right.
That's where the win comes from, not by shooting our wounded.
Yeah. Ooh. That's right.
So you've broken trust, I'm going to shoot you down, have nothing to do with you. That may be true in a business situation, but it shouldn't be true in life.
Yeah. It's good.
So, and this is great. This is really, I believe, helpful to so many people that need to be a part of this and be a part of this conversation. There are so many companies that struggle with building trust because they've never seen trust.
Wow.
And so we want to be able to help them.
Yeah.
We want to be able to help your organization create healthy culture that leans in and does the hard things, is able to have healthy conflict because you've built trust to achieve extraordinary results, because that's the vision and mission that you have as an organization.
And if the leader is listening, if the CEO, the person who's in charge, is listening to what Nick just said, and just know this, your team doesn't need perfection. They need authenticity. And it is, I guess, a reflective question for everybody. And I'm asking myself this too. If I have violated trust somewhere, can I own it? What do I need to do now? Who do I need to get with to talk about it? And you think, well, they'll never forgive me. This has been so long. And it's just like, what good would it do now? Brother, sister, it would do lots of good.
Absolutely.
Wherever you find yourself, take this time, pray through it, and act. Own it, and tell them your intentions for a new trajectory. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're not the lead, I would say ask your boss, whoever that lead is, will you listen to this podcast? Can we discuss it over lunch?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good action step.
And if you are the boss and this gets sent to you, respond with humility. And go, let's get better.
Amen.
And don't take that as an offense.
That's right.
It's because they actually love you enough to say, let's get better.
That's right, man. That's love.
Absolutely. Man, another hard topic.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today on Leading Forward with Nick and Jeremy. Continue to lead, continue to grow, continue to get better, and know we're with you in the journey. Feel free to reach out. We're here with you. Let's get better together.